Many people are still skeptical, but it seems that Tesla's $25,000 car, much talked about by Elon Musk, will finally come to fruition. It hasn't been officially launched yet, nor has it even been fully confirmed by the brand. But the signs are everywhere, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Musk has already let slip that Tesla is working on making a compact and affordable vehicle viable, and this has put the electric car market on high alert. The name most mentioned? Model 2. It could be the game changer in the popular electric segment, a kind of iPhone of cars, which promises to bring the Tesla brand to a new audience. The model is still shrouded in mystery, but little by little the pieces are falling into place. According to Musk's recent statements, the Model 2 should cost around $25,000, which in itself breaks an important psychological barrier. Until now, no car from the brand has managed to reach this level. And the most surprising thing is that this price will be achieved without compromising the fundamentals that made Tesla so desired: technology, efficiency, and style. It will be smaller than the Model 3, around 15% more compact, and also lighter, around 30% less in total weight. This will open up space for more efficient performance and reduced costs in production and maintenance. The idea behind the Model 2 will not only be to put more cars on the road, but to expand Tesla's reach in countries where the brand is still considered elite. Large cities, with heavy traffic and little space to park, should be the ideal setting for this new compact model. The hatchback will come as a direct response to the growing popularity of Chinese EVs, which have been gaining more and more traction in the global market, with competitive prices and innovative designs. And Elon Musk knows that, in order to not lose ground, he will need to offer something affordable, but with the Tesla soul intact. To reach this audience, the Model 2 will likely use simpler components and a minimalist approach, but will still maintain the futuristic touch that has become the company's trademark. Elon has already indicated that production will be highly optimized, avoiding spending on developing new lines and making the most of what already exists in the brand's factories, such as the structures of the Model Y and Model 3. This strategy, in addition to saving time and money, will allow manufacturing to scale up more quickly, something essential to meet a potentially gigantic demand. An interesting fact is that, even before its launch, the Model 2 is already influencing the purchasing decisions of many consumers. There are reports of customers postponing the purchase of a Model 3 or Model Y, in the hope of getting their hands on this compact future. The promise of a cheaper Tesla is playing on people's minds. After all, why spend more now when a more affordable model with the brand's DNA could be released soon? This expectation has created a kind of strategic pause in the market, and perhaps this is the effect that Musk wanted from the beginning: to generate a wave of attention that turns into desire. Another factor that could play in the Model 2's favor is its environmental appeal. A smaller, lighter, and more competitively priced car could become an irresistible option for young people, small families, and even corporate fleets. Timing will also be important. With the energy transition gaining momentum and governments pushing for zero emissions, an aggressively priced entry-level Tesla could ride this wave like no other. Of course, a lot can still change between now and then, but if the plan comes to fruition, the impact will be global. Even though it's a cheaper model, the Model 2 won't give up the visual identity that made Tesla stand out worldwide. However, to keep the price competitive, the design will need to follow a leaner path, a smart one even. The idea won't be to impress with luxury, but rather with functionality and simple style. The wheels, for example, will probably be 17-inch steel, instead of the sophisticated aluminum alloys that equip the more expensive models. And don't expect acoustic double glazing or dozens of paint options. The basics will reign supreme here. That's because every detail that seems small can cost a lot on a large scale. Even so, this basic look should not be confused with something generic. Elon Musk knows that aesthetics sell, especially when it comes to Tesla. That's why the Model 2 should maintain some of the brand's striking elements, such as the famous taillight bar that has become a sort of signature on the new models. This visual detail, present in the Cybertruck, Cybercab, and Model Y, helps maintain a line of continuity and reinforces the idea that, despite being affordable, the car still belongs to the Tesla family. Sharing a design with the Model Y will be more than just a matter of style. It's also a strategic decision. Using existing lines and molds will save millions in engineering, testing, and certification costs. It will make the Model 2 much more viable, especially considering the ambitious goal of selling it for around $25,000. Even though it looks like a mini Model Y, the familiar look could be an asset. It will convey the image of ruggedness and reliability that many people associate with Tesla. Of course, the design will also be designed with functionality in mind. A compact car needs to handle urban environments well, with heavy traffic and tight parking spaces. The Model 2 will be ideal for these types of situations. And although Elon Musk has not revealed exact measurements, it is speculated that the car will be around 157 inches long, something similar to the Toyota Yaris or the BYD Dolphin. This choice will not be random. These are extremely popular models in many parts of the world, and they are exactly the type of competition that the Model 2 will seek to face. In practice, this also means that the Tesla Model 2 won't try to look bigger than it actually is. Instead, the design will be geared toward efficiency, smooth curves to reduce aerodynamic drag, no unnecessary trim, and a compact front end to maximize interior space. Simplicity here will be the real luxury. Fewer parts, less maintenance, less weight. All of this adds up to a car that's cheaper to build and easier to drive. If the Tesla Model 2 promises a clean and familiar look on the outside, the inside should follow the same logic. Simplicity with purpose. No excessive luxury, no exuberant details. The interior will be focused on functionality and value for money. The seats, for example, should be covered in fabric instead of synthetic or vegan leather, as in the more expensive models. Tesla will probably choose to keep the essentials, eliminating items such as heated seats, ambient lighting, and even the famous panoramic glass roof. It may seem too simple, but for a car targeting the $25,000 range, these decisions make perfect sense. Still, this is not a bare car. The cabin should seat up to 5 passengers, offering an intelligent internal layout that makes good use of the space. As a compact hatchback, the Model 2 will be designed for urban and daily use, where comfort and agility trump luxury. Despite the savings, Tesla will not give up what defines its user experience, the famous dashboard with a central screen. Even though it is a smaller version in size, it will continue to be the car's command center, controlling everything from the air conditioning to the entertainment system. And that's where Tesla shows its genius. By maintaining this touchscreen standard, the brand saves on physical buttons, reduces parts, and simplifies assembly. In addition, this centralization helps to create a more fluid and modern interface, something that even more expensive competing models have difficulty matching. The absence of traditional dials in front of the steering wheel reinforces the minimalism of the design and places technology as the focus of the experience. And let's face it, this is something that pleases everyone from the youngest to the most demanding. Of course, some people may find the interior too simple. 7 speakers, for example, will replace the 13-output sound system found in the Model Y. It may lack that immersive sound that fills the car, but in exchange, you get a more affordable and still functional product. Even without memory seats or electrochromic mirrors, the Model 2 will deliver the basics efficiently. And that's exactly the point. It's like that small, no-frills restaurant that serves excellent food. Simple doesn't mean bad. Another interesting detail is the possibility that the car will have fewer USB ports, fewer storage compartments, and fewer physical inputs. This reinforces Tesla's tendency to focus on digital connectivity and eliminating excess. The brand wants the driver to have a fluid and intuitive experience without unnecessary distractions. Even with fewer built-in features, Tesla's software should compensate with frequent updates, new features released over time, and the constant evolution of the interface. When people talk about Tesla, they think of brutal acceleration and impressive numbers. But the Model 2 will take a different path. It will not be built to win races, but to win the hearts of urbanites. And it will do so with modest performance, but more than enough for everyday use. It is expected to come equipped with a single rear motor, the famous RWD, rear-wheel drive, which will help reduce costs and simplify production. Rear-wheel drive also offers more balanced handling, especially on curves and when accelerating lightly. No 0 to 60 in 3 seconds here. The Model 2 should do that in around 7 seconds, which is honestly already pretty quick compared to conventional combustion engine cars in the same price range. For perspective, that's faster than many gasoline-powered SUVs and compact hybrids currently on sale. That's because the instant torque of electric motors is still there. And that's exactly what makes the Tesla experience so much fun, even in the most basic models. Top speed will be limited to 180 km/h, which is well above what most people drive on the road. And this limitation won't be a weakness, it'll be a strategy. Reducing maximum power helps preserve battery life, increase range, and ensure greater safety in daily use. After all, the Model 2's focus will be on economy and practicality, not sports performance. It's the kind of car that gets you from home to work quickly, without making any noise. Speaking of the battery, the Model 2 is expected to use a 53-kilo 3D-21 pack, which represents a well-balanced choice. This battery size, combined with the car's lighter weight and compact dimensions, will allow for an estimated range of 250 miles, or around 400 kilometers. This may seem less than the 500 kilometers promised in more expensive models, but it will be more than enough for most urban commutes and even short trips. And best of all, it will cost much less. Now, if you're wondering what kind of battery will be used, everything indicates that Tesla will bet on LFP batteries, lithium iron phosphate. And that's a smart decision. LFPs are known for their durability, thermal safety, and, most importantly, their low cost. They're perfect for entry-level cars like the Model 2. In addition, these batteries can be charged more frequently, up to 100%, without suffering as much wear, which brings a huge practical advantage to the average user. For this bold plan to sell a Tesla for just $25,000 to actually work, the production of the Model 2 will have to be as innovative as the car itself. And this is where one of the company's biggest bets comes in: the intensive use of the so-called gigapress, a gigantic machine capable of molding entire body parts in a single piece. Unlike the traditional method that requires hundreds of parts joined together by welding and bolts, the gigapress uses brute force, something in the region of 8,000 tons, to create entire blocks with millimeter precision. This not only reduces production time, but also drastically reduces costs. Tesla's plan, as far as we know, is to leverage the same infrastructure it already uses to manufacture the Model Y, both in Fremont and at Giga Shanghai. These factories already have well-optimized production lines, and with the introduction of the new generation of gigapress, it will be possible to create larger components with less waste and more structural rigidity. This helps with safety, performance, and even comfort, as fewer joints mean fewer points of noise or failure. For those who think that manufacturing cars is just about putting parts in place, Tesla shows that everything can be rethought from scratch. What's interesting is that this industrial method isn't just efficient, it's visually stunning. Footage has been released of the giant machines in action, molding the back of an entire car like a hot metal toy. It's the kind of scene you'd expect to see in a rocket factory, not an automobile factory. And frankly, it fits in with Tesla's style, pushing the envelope and doing what no one else has dared to do. It's no wonder other automakers are already trying to pursue the same technology, but they're still years behind. Using the gigapress also has another benefit: standardization. By molding large parts of the car with fewer variations, Tesla will be able to replicate the process in different factories around the world with ease. This makes it easier to scale up production and shortens the time between design conception and delivery of the vehicle to the customer. If the Model 2 is indeed a sales success, which is very likely, this agility will be essential to avoid long waiting lists and frustrations with delivery times. Another technical detail that draws attention is that, with fewer parts and more directly molded components, the need for specialized labor also decreases. This does not mean that fewer people will work, but rather that the process will be easier to train and harder to make mistakes. And when we are talking about millions of units produced per year, any small error can mean huge losses. Fewer assembly points mean less chance of failure, which is great news for both the factory and the consumer. Even though it's Tesla's cheapest car, the Model 2 won't fall behind when it comes to charging and connectivity. The company's plan is to equip the model with a 250 kWh fast charging system, compatible with V4 superchargers. In practice, this means that it will be possible to charge from 0 to 80% in about 25 minutes. A quick stop for a coffee, and presto, the battery will be almost full. This eliminates much of the anxiety that still surrounds electric cars and gives the consumer practical and realistic autonomy for everyday use. And here comes one of the most interesting points. Even with a smaller battery, 53 kWh, charging will be more efficient, precisely because the car will be lighter. The combination of reduced weight, smaller wheels, and optimized aerodynamics will allow the Model 2 to extract maximum energy with minimum effort. This synergy between hardware and software, typical of Tesla, will be one of the model's greatest assets. And that's not all. The use of LFP batteries will allow more frequent charging up to 100% without affecting durability as much, which is a huge advantage for those who intend to use the car every day. Another interesting feature that the Model 2 will inherit from its older siblings is the hardware for autonomous driving. Yes, even though it is the entry-level Tesla, it will come equipped with cameras, sensors, and chips compatible with full self-driving. The difference is that this feature will not be activated from the factory. The customer will be able to choose to pay an additional amount, something around $8,000, or subscribe to the service on a monthly basis. This turns the car into a scalable platform. Today, you buy the basics. Tomorrow, you can activate premium functions if you want. It's a strategic move. If the Model 2 came with FSD included, the final price would be outside the initial target of $25,000. But by offering the system as an option, Tesla opens up space for different consumer profiles. Some just want a cheap and functional electric car, and others prefer to transform the Model 2 into a little robot on wheels. This flexibility pleases both minimalists and technology enthusiasts. And let's face it, few cars offer this kind of evolution with a simple software update. The presence of self-driving hardware also paves the way for something even bigger: integration with Tesla's future robo-taxi network. Elon Musk has already made it clear that the brand's latest cars, including its cheapest ones, will eventually be able to drive themselves when FSD reaches more advanced levels of autonomy. Imagine your Model 2 picking up passengers while you're at work, generating extra income, all without a driver. It sounds like science fiction, but it's already being tested. As promising as the Model 2 may seem, its mission in the market will not be easy. Tesla knows that it is about to face a real minefield, where tax incentives and fierce competition will be the main obstacles. One of the brand's biggest advantages in keeping the price of the Model 2 around $25,000 is the $7,500 federal tax credit offered in the United States. With this incentive, the end consumer feels as if they are paying less, without Tesla having to officially lower the price. However, this benefit is numbered. Experts point out that starting in 2026, the incentives may be reduced or even eliminated. This creates a climate of uncertainty for the launch of the Model 2. If the credit really does disappear, Tesla will have two difficult options: either accept the impact on profits and forcefully lower the price, or pass the cost on to the consumer and lose the advantage of the $25,000 car. And since the model will already be lean in terms of finish and features, there will not be much room to cut costs further. The dilemma is real, and it could directly impact the company's sales and production strategies over the next 2 years. And it's not just the US government that could complicate matters. Chinese competition is more aggressive than ever. Brands like BYD, NIO, and XPeng have been growing at a rapid pace and are already offering extremely competitive electric models, both in terms of technology and price. The BYD Dolphin, for example, costs the equivalent of $13,800 in China, less than half of what the Model 2 costs in the US. Even if the quality and features are different, the average consumer tends to compare based on the final price.